Start recording. I'm just gonna open up OBS like 4 times first just to make, yep, we're recording. Let me just check one more time. Yep, we're recording. Alright boys, so today we're gonna start off with social anxiety and we'll move on to the topics and the, we'll see how we go. So I'll start with social anxiety first, right? Because it was one of the most asked topic conversations for this lecture. And I know that you boys do feel this. So I want you right now, if everyone goes to the lecture chat, in just a short sentence, describe exactly how you feel with social anxiety. What is the situation generally that you feel? Alright, so we've got someone feels awkward as fuck, we've got someone's brain going at 9,000 RPM, setting a frame, confidence, social anxiety is not being present, worrying, not wanting to socialize, overthinking, don't know what to do, talk about, feeling awkward, messing up in front of people. So would you boys say that we could almost simplify social anxiety into a couple of different things, a couple of different situations, but honestly it pretty much just boils down to overthinking in a social situation, overthinking in regards to other people around you, generally about how they'd perceive you. Is that how you would consider social anxiety? Overthinking about how other people perceive you. We've got a bunch of yeses. Alright, so we're spot on there. Let me find a picture for you guys. Yeah, this is the one I wanted to okay. So I'm going to send a picture over to the lecture chat now if you boys can all see this. So I think you boys will be familiar with this picture I'm sending in. This is a picture of the flow state. And shut up, Sam. It's not that big. So this is the picture of the flow state. Now look where anxiety is. So you can almost see straight away of what's happening to you boys here. The challenge of the situation is high for you. Which means that, let's say, okay, let's put you in the scenario, which generally, let's be honest with you, horny motherfuckers, it's always somewhat related to girls, right? Girls and sort of people in terms of, let's say, your social life in school or this small sort of community where you can get judged. So, and usually it is somewhat related to girls. So the challenge of the situation that you're going into is high. And look at the bottom. This is going to hurt your ego, but your ability in this same situation is low, and we can even change ability to skill/experience. So as always, I always relate everything that I talk about. Am I muted right now, or is this guy being a spurg? No. All right. Wait. See this guy who wrote AV. Everyone, Jeffrey, responds to him, please. Fucking spurg. I love the control that I've got. I can just fucking ruin this guy's. Everyone's just joining into fucking. Alright, where was I? So yeah, so that's the general basis of what you're experiencing, is that the situation that you're getting into, look, is too much of a challenge, and right now your skill is too low. Would you guys agree with that? Because if the current thing, the situation that you were getting anxious about, if it was easy, I doubt you'd get anxious. Because do you get anxious, for example, speaking to the same friend for the 200th time, as much as you do speaking to, let's say, a new person? No. So there is a difference between the situations you guys are getting yourselves into and where your current skill level is. And you know what? Something to be grateful for right there. That actually means that you're putting yourself into the situation where you're being challenged. So that's fantastic. The slight issue with this is that if that challenge is too high and your skill level is too low, you're gonna get a negative effect from that. And I think you boys have experienced this. You've experienced something where the challenge is so high that you've messed up, and then your perceived value, even your self-esteem has been messed up because of that, because people thought you were weird. Has that happened to you boys? The challenge is high, your skill was too low, and then you said something stupid. And whether other people treated you like you were stupid or you just had the mental perception that you were stupid. So you know what just happened there? That was the equivalent of a beginner entering the gym and trying to hit a PR that he wasn't, we can say, worthy or ready for. You entered the gym, you saw, like a lot of people are saying they can't hear me. Are these people lying or? Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. They're all trolling. They're all okay, good. Bro, if someone says they can't hear me, just reply to them, just saying like SDFU. So just so I know, because I have to keep fucking replying like these motherfuckers, bro. Jeffrey, react to these motherfuckers. There you go. So that's exactly what's happening to you boys. I love using this analogy. When you are experiencing social anxiety, it's like you're a beginner in the gym who isn't strong enough to hit this PR, but you're trying to attempt it anyway. Now, sometimes it is worth attempting the PR, but honestly, a lot of the times you're just going to get injured. And that's probably what's happening to you boys. You're getting yourself into a situation where you can be injured. Now, what could we do? Let's say in the gym analogy, what could you do to not get injured by that weight? Over time, what could you do? Progressive overload. Warm up. Fantastic. And so that's what's missing with you boys right now, is that you just haven't leveled up enough before this current situation. I wrote down some good points before as well. So there's 2 things that you boys can do, and we can move on from this fairly quickly once you guys write this down. So get your little notepads ready, get your PC, like Notion. Everyone's just got Notion these days. Get your Notion documents ready. Okay, ready for this, boys? So there's 2 things you can do, and they are the long-term solution and the short-term solution. Now, the long-term solution is for you to level up your skills. Now, remember in the flow... Can I post the flow thing again? Yeah. So remember, look at this flow picture again. The bottom thing is your ability, your skill. If you level up... Can you not actually hear anything? I can't tell if you motherfuckers... I can hear you. You guys are pissing me off, bro. I can't trust any of you motherfuckers.
Hamza, it might actually be a problem with Discord lectures, because we had like this last week, and I think there is like some people who can't listen for some fuck all reason. So I don't know, maybe we should do these on Twitch instead next time.
Yeah, we can. Well, you guys literally can't hear like at all, or it cuts off or something, or
it's like a minority of people who can't hear, I don't think.
Yeah. Fuck Twitch.
I can hear Sam, but not Hamza.
That's fucked, bro. Fuck you.
Bro,
They're lying.
Yeah, I'll just sit here and relay to the Spugs who can't hear. You just say it, just I'll say it back.
Just translate for the Spugs, bro. the sign language.
Yeah, you guys, maybe like, okay, so you've got volume mixer on your PCs. You can right-click Hamza's name to turn up his volume. You can undeafen. Other than that, I don't know, dude. Just like watch it on YouTube, I guess, and just chill.
Wait, go live on YouTube. Can I go live on YouTube? Or is that like a little fucky situation?
Yeah,
I will live.
This requires some preparation. Otherwise, it's going to be an absolute shit show, which might cause problems. So maybe next time. For now, just stick with this, I reckon. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm kind of interested in going live on YouTube, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at that shit then. Should I go live on YouTube, boys? We're getting a bunch of no's. Couple of yeses, yes. Oh, we've got like a half. I prefer Discord, yes. No. Do a poll. Can we do a poll on Discord? Oh, it's like I can't tell. We need the percentages of these answers, bro. I think it's about 50-50 right now. What do you think, Sam?
I really think if you do a YouTube stream right now, it's going to be a shit show that might cause problems, man.
Do you reckon?
I mean, it requires a little bit of preparation, dude.
Yo, shit, we got a lot of people listening. Let's go, boys. Yeah. Now, we'll stay on... Eh?
Fucking slow mode on this chat so people can't put more than one message every 10 seconds. There we go.
Yeah, do that. And FA just spams the shit out of this fucking poll.
Fucking
want to see the results of this poll now.
They're gonna say yes. Like, okay. Oh man.
Alright,
Jesus
bro.
Christ.
So,
What's up, boys?
it's nine votes right now. Give me a second.
Who the fuck invited you onto the stage, bro? Why are all you motherfuckers on my stage? What the fuck? I'm gonna push kick you guys off.
It's my stage now.
50% says yes, 40% says no, and 10% is saying I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Alright, Sam's gonna lead the social anxiety lecture from now.
What? Okay, so what you're seeing right now is a prime example of what social anxiety actually is. You're learning on the fly right now exactly how it feels to have crippling social anxiety. So here I am. Fuck you, Alex, get back in there.
Alright, boys, get the fuck off my stage. We'll continue.
One second, bro. I'm a boomer.
Alright, so there's two directions that we can go to reduce your social anxiety. The first is the long term, and that's simply just improving and increasing your social skills, which is, it's basic stuff, right? You boys have seen this in my videos and some of the lectures so far. You've got to think of social skills like a skill. Like a skill in a video game. Now, we used to have skills in these video games that we played. Usually started with the magic skill and the cooking skill and whatever it was. And you started at level 0 or level 1 and you started getting experience by doing something in that skill and you leveled up. So let's say right now your social skill level is level 4. Now, to get into that group of people that you wanted to get into but you previously failed, you have to be level 30. Because all those motherfuckers in there, they're actually level 30. Like, they've been around this social life for long enough to level it up. You're level 4, they're level 30. If you get to level 25, you'll maybe be able to enter into that new social situation. But you just can't right now because you're still level 4, because you first need to progressive overload. The beginner, the noob, the level 1 in the skill does not train on the same things that the guy who's level 30 does, do they? Like, what do you do when you're a level 1 in any game? You kill like the little chickens, don't you? But what do you do when you're level 70 or level 100? You start killing the dragons. Right now, you're trying to kill the dragons at level 1. And so how do you level up? Well, honestly, it's the same one same action that I say to you boys every single lecture. The one action. Does anyone know what it is? One of the habits that I say that you should be doing as you go about your day. Meditation helps, but I'm talking specifically about, yeah, someone who's got this. Gabriel. Hang on, let me give you an Adonis emoji for that, Gabriel. Well done. You get a gold star. We need a gold Adonis to tag on to the special kid to get the answer right. Talking to random people. Now, a couple of you guys have said approaching. I don't like that term. I don't like the idea of approaching. I think approaching has been contaminated by the sleazy guys on YouTube. I don't cold approach. Whether it's people or girls or anything, I don't cold approach. I just talk to people around me. And that was the next part right there. Kai gets Adonis. Oh, you boys just gave him Adonis already before me. That's the next part I was going to say. So this is, I've just discussed now the long-term improvements that you can do to ease your social anxiety is to level up your social skills and do that by literally just speaking to the people around you. Now, long-term, something like meditation is going to help you in literally anything you do in life. But just walking around, start to greet people. So for a time last year, I used to just have a scrappy piece of paper just tagged onto my wall with a bar, like a rectangle bar that I'd start to fill up, and I would just say that I would get like 5 experience when I would go and greet someone. So I'm walking past, I'm walking to my gym ring spot, I'm walking to somewhere, and I'd literally just, if I say a greeting, if I say hi, hello, good morning, good evening, whatever, I would give myself 5 XP. Obviously, it's not like very like objective, you know. I'll draw the line, and it could be the equivalent of like 7. Who gives a fuck? You get what I mean? But that's, I'm collecting XP. That motivated me to continuously do this and think, okay, when this bar fills up, I'm now level 5. I'm like level 35 right now. Gamify your real life. Let's be honest, bro. Like, the majority of us are nerds here. Can we agree with this one thing? The majority of us are total nerds. Like, we all Is my PC just crashed? Yo, what the fuck? Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. My Discord just crashed. Yo, testing 1 2 1 2, testing 1 2. My bad, boys. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, fantastic. I just got DDoSed by Jeffrey, bro. Where was I? It still says that I'm recording right now. Stop recording. Someone sent a GIF that crashed people's Discord. You can do that shit. God damn. Oh, some of you nerds are fucking smart, man. Yeah, so that was what I was on about. Most of us here are nerds. We've grown up on video games. So you understand exactly how it is to gain XP, to level up your skills. And social skill is exactly just like this skill that we're talking about. Video games do make you a nerd. Don't be a little pussy, bro. Of course they do. So that's what you're missing. For the long term, mostly, you need to just level up your social skills. Just, like, honestly, mainly just go outside for a walk. Be outside as often as you can be. And speak to as many people as possible. And generally, you have to kind of call out and say hello or good morning or whatever to someone who isn't exactly even looking at you. Is that something that you boys would feel that you could potentially start doing? And if not, can you kind of think of the reason why you wouldn't do it? Or actually, yeah, can you give like any kind of like limiting beliefs or reasons why you feel a little bit hesitant to do this, to go outside and start talking to just random people you walk past? Scared that awkward. So awkward just came up a bunch of times. You're scared that it's going to be awkward. And I'm assuming that you mean that you're scared it's going to be awkward in the sense that the person you speak to will think that you're kind of somewhat weird and it'll be like a bad conversation. Yeah, exactly. Not getting a response. Yeah, so in general, you're scared of talking to new people because you kind of just think like they might not want to speak to you. If you knew that this person wanted to speak to you, you'd probably speak to them, wouldn't you? But I think the reason why we hold back is because we believe that the person that we're walking past probably doesn't want to speak to us because, you know, we're all consumed by our mobile phones. They've got their earphones in or anything. Let's go, boys. We just hit 200 people listening. Yeah, so that's it. So, I've read this study. I'm not going to cite it. Shut the fuck up, boys. I've read this study. It's on the Science of Wellbeing if you do want to like get more research on it. But the Science of Wellbeing course on Coursera, it's for free. Someone can link it here as well. The study put participants and they asked them, okay, go onto the train and speak to people next to you. And the one limiting belief that the participants had is that they thought that the people that they spoke to would not appreciate that conversation. And when they actually, like, you know, did a following... Let me check if I'm recording. Yeah, someone just cited it. Thank you, Momo. So when they did a follow-up study of this, they found that not only did it make both the participant and the person that, you know, got the free conversation happier, our perception of this is completely wrong. So we perceive that the person, the randomer, the stranger, the person with their earphones in doesn't want to be disturbed. Because that's what it means, right? Like, it's the social acceptance. It's like, if they've got their earphones in, they don't want to be disturbed, right? That's actually not even true. It's actually not true whatsoever. Like, I'm supposed to give you the disclaimer of like, oh no, if they've got their earphones in, then leave them alone. No, fuck that, bro. Bro, walk up right behind her, take her earphones out of her ear, and then speak to her. Like, you take their earphones off. What are you listening to, bitch? Just get like so close to her, just start whispering in her ear, like, what are you listening to? So I'll give you the realistic example. If someone's got their earphones in, generally, I'm about to get cancelled in this bitch. If someone's got their earphones in, do you know what? I will still somewhat speak to them, but in a slightly different way. So I'm gonna teach you like literally the very detailed step-by-step thing that I do, which makes it much, much easier to talk to people, because I've been trying to do this for more than a year straight. And so here is the step-by-step process. Are you guys ready for this? This is a whole year of refining, and I know it's kind of like silly and a little bit autistic to get into this deep of exactly what you should do with your hands and everything, but it's made a big difference in being able to be like sort of comfortable. And Ami's just said something important there. He'll approach someone if they look at him, and that is the problem right there. Okay, it's easy to approach someone who makes eye contact with you and smiles. It's natural. The majority of people who walk past you aren't going to do that. What we need to do, the harder thing, is to start getting used to speaking to someone who isn't looking at you. And that's where the barrier, that's where the friction comes from. So this is exactly what I do. I'm walking, right? I'm going to my gym ring spot, or I'm in the store or whatever. I'm just going somewhere. I'm already in a happy mood. I'm already smiling. I'm already literally like somewhat in a flow state, although I'm still kind of calculating and sort of analyzing, you know what I mean? But I feel like I'm getting close to a flow state. I'm trying to lube up as well. And so I see someone. Specifically, here's the few things I do. One, I'm already smiling. Two, when there's a bit of a distance away from us, let's say they're about 3 meters away. So close enough that you kind of have to raise your voice. I talk louder than needs be, and I raise my hand up. That's the most important part, which I found. It's so simple, but if you don't do this, I found that you will never ever actually like be able to get to that conversation. You raise your hand up. Imagine you were like calling the taxi that's going across the street. So imagine you're just walking somewhere and you raise your hand up slightly above your head towards them, and you do the thing like it changes what I say, but generally I'll say something like "yo," or then if we walk past, I'll say something to do with what they're wearing, or something like nearby. And the hand raised specifically, and yeah, Wintertime has just said it. I've honestly just stole this from some guy who posted this on Reddit. The hand raised specifically is what salesmen do. It's specifically what gets that attention. You raise your hands up when there's a little bit of a distance. If you just imagine, okay, the person you're speaking to, your target, the victim, they don't actually know that you're going to do this, right? Because they're expecting you to follow social norms and to not speak to other people, because that's what we do in this weird age. So they need to visually see you, because if they do hear you talk, they're generally not going to think that you're talking to them, especially if right now they are mindless, and especially if they're already on their phone, or if they're on their like earphones or anything. King AAX said, should you still approach people if you're visibly shaken or anxious, or should you wait? Hopefully you're not going to be visibly shaken or anxious, but honestly, if that is you, it's like you could essentially wait, but then it would come, the anxiousness and the shaking would come back as soon as you were ready to speak to another person again. And so you should just still approach anyway. What if I stutter? Bro, I stutter all the time. I literally stutter all the time when I speak to someone. Like, the approach, the talk does not have to be perfect at all, because that person, I'm telling you right now, will seem like a bigger spurg than you are. And someone, has just added me with a really good point. What about the old white guy on the bus/train that makes it so easy for them to talk to people? And that was one of my original Red Pill posts. I said that you should invoke old man vibe. An old man vibe is that you just realize that you're going to speak to every single person around you. And if they don't speak to you, if they look at you weird, they are the weird ones. Because just think about your natural, behavior as a human being. Who is the weird one? You, someone who's connecting in your community, or the person who looks at you as if you're an enemy? Who is the weird one there? It's the other person. And I'm telling you right now, the majority of people will not even look at you as the enemy. They are the weird ones if they don't speak back. Well done, Andragon. You get a Adonis emoji for that shit. And so what happens practically, when you do this, you're going to walk past people. Now you guys will begin to do this with people who still look at you. And that's an improvement, because now you're at least doing it to someone. The golden point of this comes when you start to challenge yourself and do this to people who aren't even looking at you, specifically people who are not looking at you. That's the very, very important part on leveling this up. Specifically, do this whole thing that I've just said to someone who's not looking at you. They're walking past, they've got their head down, they're in their earphones and everything. Because guess what happens? Has anyone done this and they can see, they can observe this human being? What happens when you speak to a human who's not paying attention to you, like a stranger? There's something very particular that happens, and it's quite a beautiful moment. They seem surprised. They change their attention and talk to you. That's what I wanted to see. Let's go QB77. They change their attention and they talk to you. So what specifically happens when someone's not looking at you? Let's say, okay, I'm walking right now, and there's a person walking their dogs. They've they've seen me, right? They've seen me as like an object that's walking towards them, and they're walking past me, but they haven't like seen me as a human being. I get somewhat close to them, a few meters away, and I shout over like, "Yo, good morning." It's like they get instantly taken out of their mindless state, and it's like they're hit with a sense of surprise, a sense of excitement, a little bit of fear. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of fear, because it is somewhat abnormal to do this, and finally, a sense of connection. That's the beautiful part of this. I'm taking them out of their mindless state. Is that not one of the best gifts that you can give to someone? And I'm giving that gift to 10 people in my community every single time I'm going outside. Gabriel said, if someone gives me a bad look, I would never talk to them. That's just me. Honestly, bro, that's your own loss. Because the people who you think are giving you a bad look are just mindless. They're not actually giving you a bad look. You have to, do you want to know the somewhat cure to anxiety? You have to consider you have to consider everyone around you is a friend up until proven otherwise. I'm going to say that again. Everyone around you is a friend until proven otherwise. Anxiety makes you think that everyone is an enemy until proven otherwise. They are a friend until proven otherwise. Would you not speak to your friend on the street? And I promise you, the overwhelming majority of people that you ever meet in your entire life will not prove you otherwise with this. The overwhelming majority of people will not meet you otherwise. Who's this one punch man just disagreeing with everything I say? You new here, cuz. Let me call this guy. Yo, young, what's this guy's name? One Punch Man. Come up on stage, bro. If you disagree with everything I say, come up on stage. Where you at? You can teach the boys how to overcome social anxiety. How do I invite you onto stage? Invite to speak. Yeah, come up on stage, bro. Here's your chance, bro. No, here's your chance, bro. If you fucking want to disagree with everything, here is your chance, fam. I've gave him permission. Let's see if he wants this smoke or not. There we go. His heartbeat's going so fast right now. Keep your mouth shut, bro.
This is such an interactive lecture, Hamza. You're actually invoking social anxiety onto your listeners.
I'm putting you guys in the driver's seat of this bitch. I'm like the instructor who just pushes you into the deep end. Alright, so to wrap that up, that was the long term for social skills to improve your social anxiety. Now there is one final thing that I can give advice for this. And someone actually said it before, apologies, I forgot who said it. But there's one final thing you can do on the short term. So let's say over the long term, you've been improving your social skills, you've been, thinking about social anxiety and getting better and better. But there's something that you can do today, when you go outside to reduce your social anxiety. And does anyone know what I'm going to say? What could you do today? What's the specific term that I like to use? We haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it. Come on, boys. Yeah, there we go. Winter time. You got it first. Let's go. I'm trying to give you a... Yeah, there you go. Let me give you a Adonis emoji. It's social lubrication. Getting lubed up, G. That's what my friend used to say. So I'll briefly tell the story again. When I first started going to clubs and speaking to women, and obviously I'm into that red pill, I was watching all these YouTube videos. And I had this one black friend, bro. This charming ass motherfucker. This like high charisma, confident motherfucker. We're literally walking to the club. And I'm just like walking to the club, right? I'm just walking to the club. I'm just about to enter the club. I'm just walking to the destination. This guy starts running up to people, starts shouting at people, starts like just yelling shit to people. At one point, he runs up to this group of girls and he like fist bumps all these people and everything. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And he's like, yo, bro, I'm just getting lubed up, G. I'm just getting lubed up, G. I'm like, what? It's just social lubrication, bro. You just gotta get socially lubed up before you enter the club. I would enter the club and I'm essentially like not warmed up. This guy's already warmed up for a PR. We enter the club. I'm like, okay, I'm going to the bar. I need to get drunk first. This guy's literally already in the club, like grinding on bitches in the first few minutes of being there. Social foreplay. That's exactly what it was, man. So social lubrication, in a practical way that you guys can use it, think of it as warming up, social foreplay, before you're about to go and do the main thing that you want. So, let's say the main social anxiety that you have is this one particular friends group in school. You know, the group of like cute little girls and the group of the guys. Now, if you walk into school and you go directly to them, or you consider going directly to them, you're going to feel anxious, aren't you? What if you got lubed up beforehand? What if you had spoken to 10 people beforehand? Now, for you horny motherfuckers, let me give you another example. The height of this, speaking to people in person, is, let's say, cold approaching a woman, a cute woman, right? That's like the height thing. Now, a lot of you guys are somewhat into cold approaching, and you've been looking at it online, and you know how difficult it is that when you see that cute girl and you want to go and speak to her, and you know what I mean? You're like, you're too anxious to. You're too like, you're overthinking about it, right? What if you had already spoken to 10 people before on the same name, on the same day? What if then the cute girl was going to be the 11th person that you had said hello to? Would it be as hard for her if she was the first person or the 10th person? There would be a difference, of course there would. Because it would be so much easier because you're already lubed up. You guys are like, you're trying to stick your dick in dry. That's why it's difficult. At the very least, bro, just spit on it. Alright, who wants to come up on stage and give us a real life example of their sort of social anxiety, and we'll try and break that down. So we've just got someone's hand raised. Okay, we've got two people's hand raised. We'll go with FA. We'll go with highest ranks first. What's good, King?
Well, I think you already know the example that I'm going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when I went out to
You got
cold approach
blackpilled?
girls when I had zero experience on approaching others at all?
Of course, bro. This guy went out to approach once, came back, and he was like, bro, I'm blackpilled now.
Like that. So I had like zero experience when it comes to approaching men and women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went into hardcore mode. I was so motivated and said, okay, fuck it, let's go for cold approach and see how it goes. Bro, I got rejected. Like I cold approach 4 or 5 times in like 10 hours or something. I really gave my best, but all of them rejected me, and that's completely normal. That's completely normal. The first one was the hardest one whenever I start approaching, right? Because it's like getting out of your comfort zone, talking up to a stranger. It's like, it's a weird ass feeling. But once you've like talked to one, the second one is like, approaching the second one is way easier. So what ended up happening is I got rejected by all of them. I returned back home, called Hamza, and said, bro, I'm done with this shit. I don't cold approach women at all. I'm so fucking done. And that's a mistake that I think you guys shouldn't do. When you have zero to little experience when it comes to approaching people, don't go on the hardcore mode and approach women. It can be really, really devastating when you get rejections all the time. But
well
if you
said.
just talk, if you just talk to strangers, right? It's like, hey, what time is it? The basic ass questions that just get used to talking to them, right? And I was super nervous. I was talking to the I was like playing it in how's it called, and on hardcore mode. Yeah, it was all written that I'm getting rejected tonight. I was super nervous. They felt that, and I got rejected. I was like, oh my god, I won't approach at all. And a couple of months later, when I found some motivation again, etc., I've had like really, really good success, but that was only due to me approaching random strangers in the first place and not go balls deep into cold approaching girls. It can work for you. It's good if it works for you, but as I've said, it's like really, really tough for newbies when they get rejected. So start with strangers, start asking for time, etc., and do it slowly, because it can be devastating, at least for me.
Well said. The other time you just said where you went out and you said it was much better. Tell the boys what happened.
Okay,
Quick film report.
okay.
Just the summary.
I was with my friend Umut. He was the one where I was cold approaching. He was with me when I was cold approaching for the first time. He saw how devastating the day for me was, and he that motherfucker even laughed at me, man. It was really, really devastating. So a couple of months later, I go out with him again. It's like a big city here in Germany. We were in Cologne, in the same exact city, and we started cold approaching. It always starts with a rejection, right? But it was cool. It was cool. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, they're rejecting me again. No, it was I was getting into the flow, right? And the fourth girl that I've asked that day, I'm not joking, I slept with her. That day I slept with her, and Umut slept with the girlfriend of her. And it was all in all, it was my 15th approach. For you guys, it might take like more or less, right? But I was fucking surprised that I've like slept with a girl on that same day.
Good man.
Bro, it was insane. So if you guys want to know how it was, we got choosing signals. They looked at us and like giggled or something. But we didn't have the balls to approach them after 3 rejections, right? So I looked at Umut and said, bro, just don't be a pussy. We got rejected 3 times, even if it's the 4th time right now. Like, who gives a shit, right? And we went up to them, asked them how they are, etc. And that was basically it. You get into a flow, and I can't really remember what we were talking about, to be fair. They had like some drinks, they drank, I didn't because I was the driver, and within 4 to 5 hours she said, yeah, let's party at our home, let's continue the party at our home. And yeah, that was the story.
Good man. Well done, bro. So the analysis of this, he went out first and he pretty much tried to hit a PR in his first time. He tried to kill the boss whilst he was still level 1. And he's gave you the advice right there as well. You've got to level up first. If you're level 1, bro, stop trying to kill the boss. Now, he, like, you know, it all worked out, right? But FA for quite a long time was in a negative state because of that first approach. And wouldn't you guys be? Imagine you finally picked up the courage to follow what all these red pill YouTubers are saying, and you finally go outside to go cold approach these women with all the lines that you've been copying and pasting. You go up and you get rejected to the face for one of the first times in your entire life. Like most of you boys, I'm going to assume, have only really been rejected by women online. To get rejected in person is very, very different, and in person in public. So FA turned that around, and he said something that essentially social lubrication. The first time is the hardest by far. After that, once you've been rejected a couple of times, it's so much easier. And well, let's be honest, that pretty much every one of you guys wants to get good with women, or at least, you know, to get like partners and stuff, right? If you're trying to attract women, you've got to know that it's mostly a numbers game, and that the guys who are good with women, who get like a fair amount of success with women, have been rejected quite literally hundreds of times in person. Hundreds of times. Most of you guys have maybe never even been rejected, maybe even once in person. You know, it's mostly online. But online, I wouldn't even say like it's technically a rejection or anything, unless if you've been speaking for like a long time. You can't fear rejection. Well said, Dylan. Do you know what you have to do? You have to chase rejection. You have to crave rejection. Imagine the superpower of this if you crave the worst thing that could happen to you. Now it's a win-win. Right, who else wants to come onto the lecture stage? Tell us about a social situation. We had Kind. Oh, fuck. Kind, where you at? Request to come back up, bro. I just, like, X'd off your thing, then. Yeah. Let's go, Kind. What's up, bro?
Hey man, I literally have social anxiety right now that I'm talking to you in front of all these people. Like at first my heart was beating really fast because like I cannot speak English very well too, and but now like it was a delayed time, so it got better, but I still have the social anxiety right now, speaking in front of many people and also not knowing English very well.
Bro, you got good English, man. Look at the comments. Everyone's literally saying you got good English.
Well, I think I'm just speaking basic English, that's why I'm good at it.
Bro, you got better English than me. We don't do any kind of advanced algebra around here. So, what is the social situation you can think of right now which generally makes you quite anxious?
Well, I'll get anxious when I want to speak to strangers. Like on the street, I can't even think of approaching someone and talking to them. Like, it's really weird in our communities to just speak to a stranger on the street. Like, it's just not normal, you know? No one does that around this place that I live in.
Interesting word you use. It's not normal. Do you want to be normal?
Well, not, but I guess people start to think me as of a psychopath, you know?
I don't think so. I think the issue isn't that they think that you're a psychopath. The issue is that you think that they'll think that you're a psychopath. Do you think that's more accurate?
Well, yes, but like people are very serious around the town, and like they are all over the thing to do. Like they're doing the things that they want to do that day, and they're not really putting attention in anything else. So when I approach them, they're probably gonna just like ignore or walk away, or feel like, who is this guy who's talking to strangers in the street?
And how many times have you done that?
Actually,
honest.
0.
There we go. So, no offense, but right now you're speaking without experience then. Isn't that right?
Yes.
So it's like my heart goes out to you, bro, because I was in the exact same position some time ago. And so your brain right now is kind of like the lizard brain. It's the lizard brain of the guys who they say, no, going to the gym doesn't even work, bro. Like you'd get injured. It's like your parents who say like fucking protein powder is bad for you because they've got no experience of it. Or the guy who says that meditation doesn't work because he's got no experience of it. Right now you have no experience of this thing and your brain is trying to convince you that it doesn't work, but you haven't even done it once to actually find out whether it works or not. Now you've got a whole community of guys here and me who you probably trust me to a certain level that you've joined this server and you're up on stage, who are telling you that it works. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't benefit from you really doing this. It's just your own mental perception.
Right. So
It's the lizard
is it just
brain.
like basically doing the approaching strangers on the street, and that's it?
That's it. I would not exactly, personally, I don't call it approaching. Personally, I just call it talking to strangers. And even then, honestly, even strangers is the wrong word. These are your people. This is your community. You are literally just talking to your people. They want to talk to you. It's just that right now you don't have enough experience in your mind to really have that conclusion just yet. But within a week, within the next lecture, you could come back and say, you know what, like Hamza was right, guys. I went out, I spoke to people, they all smiled when I spoke to them. I thought they wouldn't want to speak to me. You know, they had their earphones in. They weren't looking at me or anything. But the moment that you opened up your mouth to them, they just smile. It's like you've pulled them out of that overthinking stage. You thought that they were just, you know, they just wanted to get the groceries and get on with their day. Bro, everyone around you is lonely. You are part of this privileged group right now who are actively taking a part to learn to improve your social skills. Like, if you actually think about it, how many people are taking a lecture to improve their social skills? You boys are all part of a very small minority of the world who can actually make a difference in the community around you, because everyone around you is lonely. And you have the power to reverse that.
Another thing is there are lots of groups, groups of people that are all boys, and they are the same age as me, like 16 or 17, and when they are like on the street, I really get anxious about they are gonna, if I try to say hello to them maybe, or even look at them, they're trying to look me in a bad way and even get me off into a trouble or something, you know.
That is a common mindset to have.
You know, I heard you once saying you were anxious about going to the gym because there were people in the way to the gym that you thought they may stab you or something else. That's the feeling that I get when I walk down the street.
Yeah. So what I found in terms of my own anxiety experience, and Sam, the video editor, can back me up on this, hiding away from the situation where you have anxiety does not help whatsoever. It makes it so much worse. Put it this way, okay? I went on the train, let's say 100 times, and on the 100th time, I almost got stabbed. So there is a 1% chance, this is what my analytical brain has concluded, there is a 1% chance that I'm going to get stabbed if I go on a train. Now, I didn't go on a train again for a while, and so there's still a 1% chance. I avoided that situation. Now I take them again. Now I've taken 150, 200. Now there's a 0.5% chance that I get stabbed. When you put yourself into the situation where you get anxiety, even though we tend to avoid those situations, the anxiety actually goes down because there's less of a percentage of the bad thing happening when you just surround yourself in that situation. So for your situation, okay, there's a group of youths, there's a group of guys there who potentially could be your new best friends, right? These could genuinely be your new best friends. They just kind of seem a little bit scary right now. If you don't actually approach them, this anxiety will only ever get worse and worse and worse and worse. Because one of the times you're going to walk past them, you're going to make eye contact with one of them, and he's going to look kind of scary a little bit. Now, he hasn't done anything, but your brain has just said, oh, because he's not smiling at you with a big, big smile, he's a threat. And so you're going to go home and feel even more anxious and more anxious and more anxious. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's it.
So what if we reverse it? What if the next time you see a group of youths, you smile at them as if they're your boys already? And if they smile at you, if they seem friendly, and if they seem like the type of people that you actually want to hang out with, you just walk up to them and just say something. I can't exactly give you the advice on that, although the stuff that I say, I don't exactly have a line, but I found that the more you do this, the less of that anxiety you'll have, and when you have less of that anxiety, the more of these people you end up befriending. That's your task for the next week, okay?
By thinking of it, I get anxious to I cannot just imagine approaching people or talking to strangers in the street. It's just too, I don't know, stressful for me.
It's a PR, that's why. So this group of guys is a PR. It's a weight that you probably cannot lift right now. Now, I could spot you. If we're going to use the gym analogy, I could be your spotter. If me and you were chilling and we walked and we saw these youths and I spotted you whilst you approached them, then it would be a lot easier. But since I can't spot you, since no one around you can spot you with this, what you can do is progressively overload it by starting with a lighter weight. And as Sam has said a few times, start with older people. Because, oh bro, old people want to speak to everyone, bro. So what next time you walk past someone, especially older people, start talking to them. Start with greetings to these older people, to these businessmen, to, you know, like the adults. Start speaking to the adults. You'll get comfortable with them. You end up having like a fun conversation with some old woman. And after that, you're already in that social flow state, which will make it so much easier for you to actually go and speak to people your age.
That actually sounds better. Yeah.
That's what I would suggest to do.
I guess it's time to head out right now.
Thank you for coming on to the stage, bro. Much respect for the confidence of coming up here, man. Let's get an Adonis emoji for Kind. This guy's literally got fucking social anxiety. He just came up on stage in front of 250 people. Let's go. Setting a fantastic example for the boys. Kind, have a look at this chat, bro. Every single one of these Adonis emojis are for you. Well done, brother.
Man, you're just giving me more stress, but thanks, guys.
Alright, bro. Hop off the stage, please.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Goodbye. You see that, boys? He's just not overcome social anxiety, but he's just put himself into a position where his anxiety is flared up. The worst case scenario didn't happen. His mind might have beforehand started, thinking of, okay, what if he stutters? What if he says the wrong words? What if everyone starts putting the Jeffrey emoji instead? But it didn't happen. And because of this today, he might feel anxious. Like, I can tell, Kind, like, you can probably back me up on this on the chat, but like, you're probably sweaty right now, right? You're probably like feeling a little bit sick. Yeah, he said yes. I'm a little bit sweaty too, bro. Every time I get onto these calls, like, this is a PR for me right now. This is the first time I'm giving a lecture live to 254 people. And let's go, boys. 250 people listening in. Let's go. Gold star. Very impressive, Kind. Well done, man. We used to get literally, like, sometimes we used to literally get like 9 people listening to these lectures, and my heartbeat would still go off at that time. And this is how you level up. This is how, I won't go into this in too much detail because I think this might be a little bit like, too forward, but this is how you start to power level a skill like social leveling and social skills, is you do something like this. Like, for you guys right now, you're just kind of sat here listening to the lecture, right? I want you just for a second right now just to think like, yo, like, Hamza's just a normal fucking guy. Like, I'm just like a dweeb like the rest of you boys. And I'm like, fucking, this is a PR for me, boys. Let's get the next person on. Who wants to come onto the chat right now? Who wants to come onto the stage? I'm going to pick someone at random, yeah? Someone who's put their hand up. Who's the highest ranking person we have here? We'll go with King AAX. What's up,
man.
King?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, bro. I like your voice.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Tell us about your social experiences, man.
Oh, man. I mean, even before I was even called up, I just got anxiety thinking about even being put up here. So I'm kind of anxious right now. I mean, I've had social anxiety pretty much since my teenage life. And it kind of stems from being, I guess, rejected a lot at a young age. So now when I try to interact with people, it's kind of difficult because I always have in the back of my mind, like, what if they think I'm weird? What if they notice something weird about me? What if they notice me shaking? That type of shit. So sometimes, like, I've been in therapy, not currently because, it's expensive and all that kind of shit for it. But, I have tried the things that my therapists have encouraged, which is like, talking to people small bits at a time, at least one time a day and all that kind of shit. But the main problem for my anxiety specifically is when I feel like people are staring at me. So if I'm trying to have like a social interaction with somebody, whether it's that person specifically or say I'm in line talking to the cashier, I feel like the people behind me are kind of like looking at me weird or whatever, or they notice that I'm anxious, so it kind of makes the interaction kind of awkward. So I would say mostly rejection, mostly based on rejection.
I relate to that. Hang on, let me get my voice as deep as you. Okay, I relate to that too, bro. So, so you feel like people stare at you generally in public, and that's like, okay, they're judging you.
Right. Yeah.
I used to
And
feel the
see-
exact same way. Go on.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, like, my girlfriend, even my therapist will try to encourage me, like, hey, it's probably because, you know, you're tall, you look handsome, all that kind of shit. But even knowing that doesn't really help. You know what I mean? So like I have somewhat confidence with my physical appearance, aside from say like bad posture or being anxious, being shaky. But like I said, just feeling like people are staring at me or whatever is kind of what makes it bad.
And past that, what thoughts do you get, or what do you think these people are thinking when they stare at you? What specifically, like, are they thinking?
So like I said, because it kind of started in high school, like when I was younger. I'm 22 now, so it wasn't that long ago, but you know, long enough to where I should probably be moving past it. Things like, well, for one, the shakiness, because that developed in high school and people did comment on it in high school. So I kind of developed an insecurity about that, but also that I've had like a couple people point out to me like, oh, hey, how come one of your eyes looks different from the other? It's because one of my eyelids comes down just a tiny bit, which isn't really noticeable unless you're like right in front of my face. But shit like that, just tiny shit that kind of gets in my head and gets me wired, I guess.
So it's anxious of insecurities.
Right.
Okay, so I went through a lot of this shit myself, bro. And what I've realized is that no one, I think you probably know this yourself, but no one is even paying attention to your insecurities. Why? Because they're thinking about their own insecurities. When you see someone and they're somewhat looking at you, they're not actually paying attention to you most of the time. Because let's be honest, most people aren't even meditating. Most people aren't mindful day to day. Most people are social media addicts. Most people have like a low level of focus. Although they're looking at you, they're looking at you as if like you're just kind of an entity, like an NPC. What's in their mind right now is, oh my god, that tall guy with the sexy voice, he's looking at me and my ear is weird. He thinks I've got small tits. I'm short. Like he keeps staring at me because I'm short. And then you're there thinking, wait, these people are staring at me because my eye is droopy and I'm shaking right now. And so we're all just stood in a circle, overthinking about our own insecurities, thinking that everyone else is overthinking about us when we're all just thinking about ourselves. And it takes one person to step inside of the circle who's mindful and present, who finally breaks out of this and invites everyone else into the middle of the circle.
Right.
Now that could be you.
True.
Do you meditate?
Yeah, I wasn't doing it as frequently up until recently when I started watching your videos. But yeah, I do meditate.
Good man. That's going to help on the long term. And I would suggest that you do some deep journaling for this. Write down your insecurities. Write it in detail about what the worst case scenario is if someone like pays attention to them, if someone notices them, and if someone judges them. Because personally, when I did this, and I truly wrote like, you know, sort of some things that make you invoke humility. I realized that if someone's judging me for, let's say, my ear, my brown skin, my gyno, my little bitch titties, right? That's me. That's me, bro. That's literally me. However they're responding to my insecurities, how they're responding to me, and at that point, it's like we're just not compatible as people. And you're not going to be compatible with 99% of people. But then I realized that the overwhelming majority of people aren't even ever staring at that stuff. Like, do you know how many girls I've asked? I've taken my shirt off and I've been like, you know, oh, like, you know, I've got puffy nipples, and they kind of like pay attention, they stare at it, and they're like, oh yeah, they're a little bit puffy, and then she kind of like moves on with her life. And here I am with the biggest insecurity of my life, thinking like I've just fucking opened up to her, and she just said like, oh yeah, they're a little bit puffy, whereas I've overthought about them. I pinch my nipples every time I take off my top for the last like fucking 10 years. We think about our own. Gone.
No, I was just saying. No, I hear what you're saying.
We think about our own insecurities a million times more than anyone else does. And I'm telling you right now, the overwhelming majority of people aren't actually thinking about yours. And the only issue isn't exactly your insecurities. It isn't exactly your eye or your shake. It's specifically the thoughts that you're having about them. And the thoughts right now, it's kind of like your mind needs to be allowed to go deeper into it, and the only way we can fully have deep thoughts about something as emotional as this is if you do something like deep journaling, because generally you can't have like a deep thought whilst you go about your normal day-to-day life. So right now, we can get you to talk about your insecurities, we can get you to sort of think about this, but you will never get the same level of clarity as if you devoted 2 hours to just a pen and paper, no distractions, no everything switched off, and you fully dove into the reason why you feel like a little bit insecure about this. And generally, it's always about your own perception of yourself. You think you're potentially not worthy of a stranger's love, or even friend's love, or even family's love because of these insecurities, because you're not perfect.
Right. Yeah.
So let me ask you something. Would you trade your insecurities for mine?
Definitely.
Really?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I've never really
If you-
thought about that, but
If you really thought about it, I think anyone who fully thinks about this question would almost be disgusted at the idea of that. Would you trade your problems for someone else's? Because immediately it makes you realize that someone else has equally as bad problems
right.
when you really think about it. Would I trade, like, I've fucking hated Gyno, right? I fucking hated being brown skin. I hate having this ear that points out, and all you motherfuckers always leave mean comments. Would I trade my insecurities for yours? Fuck no. And yours aren't even, bro, I don't even, like, I'm gonna be the nice guy here, but I don't think yours would be that bad. But, and everyone's probably going to tell you this, and everyone's going to tell me this, but you would generally never trade your problems for someone else's. It's just that you would want to get rid of yours without actually
Right.
thinking of what you would be taking on.
True. Yeah. Yeah. that
Everyone's
makes
got something then. And so this is your thing. This is like your thing. All you can do is be grateful for it.
sense. Right. Yeah, that's the main thing, man. It's like, I mean, we're all men, so I'm not special in this way, but I tend to consider myself overly logical in the sense that, which is the cause of my anxiety. So, I overthink a lot of this basic, simple shit. Like, everything you say makes sense. Like, all the videos that I've watched by you and all the advice I've taken from professionals, like, it all makes sense because it's things that I've actually thought about. It's just kind of how my mind is wired. It's more towards the negative. And to be honest with you, I completely agree that mindful meditation and deep journaling can absolutely shape your mind, and being more positive in general can actually help. It's so hard to see that progress, obviously, and I know you talk about this in your videos, to see that progress when you're still stuck at step one, and think positively, because to think, the way I see it, to think positively, you have to have been doing it for a while. So it's kind of hard to do that when you think so negatively in general, when you're trying to work against that, basically.
Yeah, completely agree with you. So let me give you a little snippet of a video that I've currently got unreleased that you boys can get, like, special, what do I call it? What's it called, guys? Spoiler. Yeah, spoiler. Special spoiler of this video. It's how to actually stop thinking negatively. And it's a very short video where I've said that most of the advice you've seen in terms of stopping negative thoughts and starting positive thoughts is bullshit. It's like, if, for example, we went onto the Red Pill, we went onto Reddit or something, and we asked all the alpha males, hey guys, how do I stop thinking negatively? They'll say, oh, go and lift heavy weights, bro. And it's bullshit. Thinking is just a habit. And however your brain automatically generates thoughts, it's just because of the thoughts that you have forced at one point. So generally, most of us have forced negative thoughts, either, let's be honest, quite frankly, because most of our parents have put that onto us, and the people around us have put negative thoughts into us. And so now we have forced negative thoughts, and so our brain automatically generates negative thoughts. What if we flip it? What if we force now positive thoughts as often as we can? The special, very, very important word here is that you have to force positive thoughts into your mind, and the more you do that, the more your mind will automatically generate positive thoughts.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So the next time you feel yourself getting insecure about this, and you look at yourself in the mirror and straight away your eyes dart to your insecurities, you're somewhat generating and also forcing negative thoughts. Reverse that. Start to just ask yourself, what are you grateful for? What are you happy for? How far you've come? Of all the things that you have that's good right now. And if you consistently keep doing that, those are the type of thoughts that will start generating automatically in your mind.
Right. Gotcha.
I appreciate you coming onto the stage, man.
I appreciate you talking to me, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Adonis emoji for this deeper voice ass motherfucker. Let's go, boys. Have a look at that, King. That's for you. Should we get one more person on? Yeet. Put me in, coach. Cav on. Let's put Cav on. Is this Cav from YouTube? Where you at, Cav on? Have you requested to come onto the stage? Hey, Cav on. Not a Jeffrey. Oh, there you go.
Yo,
Cav on.
how's it going?
How you doing, bro?
You can hear me? How you
I can
doing?
hear you.
I'm doing good. Doing good. A little scared that I came up here as a lot of people.
Appreciate the confidence, man.
Yeah. All right.
Tell us about some social situation that you can think of right now that makes you feel pretty anxious.
So, say for example, I'm a high schooler, right? I walk into a classroom. I find a place to sit. The anxiety I get and the thoughts I get is, say I want to talk to somebody new, but I don't have any friends or like anybody I know in that classroom. Who do I start out with to talk to first? The thoughts I get is like I start getting shaky, like my eyes start to wander a lot when I like say I'm like talking to a teacher or something, or ask somebody a question. It's almost, what's the word? I can't find it. Kind of lost my train of thought,
Nice.
but I find it hard to just, I guess, approach and like peers, like other people my age. It's easier for older people. It's easier to talk to older people and things like that. But people my age, it seems like they don't want to talk to me or something like that. I find that hard.
Completely agree with you. So we can, we just hit 300 people. Let's go, boys. So we can actually break this down into detail. So the example that you've gave, a bunch of the guys have already said that it was a good example. So it's something that I think a bunch of you guys can relate to. So if we break this down step by step, you're about to enter the classroom and you're already thinking like, oh fuck, my friends aren't in this class, so I'm probably just gonna have to like sit by myself. As soon as you get into the class, you've opened the door, you stepped inside. Now I'm guessing, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, but you're gonna walk in and you're almost immediately just gonna like find the empty seat and just go straight there, because you don't want to kind of stand around the front of the class. You don't want people to know specifically that you don't have friends in that class. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I used to do the same thing, and I understand now. The better is that you you open the door, you enter the class, and you actually take a second right there. Like at the top of the class, it's completely fine for you to just stand there for just like a couple of seconds and look at the class. Like you can make eye contact with people there. Now, generally, I'm guessing that you're about to enter this class, you open the door, you don't make eye contact, you don't want to make eye contact with anyone, and you go immediately to sit down. And that's why people aren't judging you, but it feels like they are, because you haven't even started that human interaction with eye contact just yet. So everyone in there is almost like a neutral yet somewhat negative NPC. Is that how it feels?
Yeah. It does feel like that.
Yeah. So you enter, the next thing you can do in a practical sense is you open the door, you stand at the front, and you just make eye contact whilst smiling, whilst looking happy, whilst feeling like, you're just a bubbly guy who's grateful to, let's say, be back in school after the whole period of online learning. You're like in a loving state, in an open state, and in a state of kindness and gratitude and mindfulness. That's so attractive. And so you're going to be stood at the top of the class, smiling at the teacher, smiling at everyone before you even move. And straight away, you're going to see people who automatically smile at you. And those are the people who kind of like your vibe already. And they're the ones that you can sit down next to and you'll actually somewhat be compatible with. How does that make you feel in terms of using this as a plan?
That I'll take that into consideration and definitely apply that.
But you don't sound fully convinced.
No, I'm just still a little nervous that I'm up here.
Okay, no worries. But What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid in like social sort
Yeah.
of a sense? I think so say like an insecurity of mine is probably my teeth, right? A gap. I got a gap. So it's an insecurity for me. So when I talk or like when I'm speaking, I think people are always, oh he has a gap, oh his teeth look fucked up, da 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 da. And that's what I'm scared of.
So right now you're allowing that fear of judgment to your teeth stopping you from getting these connections. You think that the people around you won't like you because of it, and so you're not even giving them the chance to like you. Do you think that 100% of the people who see your teeth will dislike you because of it?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. No, not 100%. Okay, there could be some like judgmental people. A certain percentage will think less of you for it. We're not going to like sugarcoat shit here. A certain percentage will. A certain percentage will think less of you because of your height, your race, your hair, your social status, what type of clothes you wear, for everything, right? But if you hide in the shadows, you're essentially you're effectively not forming a connection with 100% of people, when actually it was only going to be about, let's say, 10% of people that would have said, oh, they have implicitly set a value for themselves that they will not be friends with someone who's got unideal teeth. So to save yourself from those 10%, you've been hiding away from the rest of the 90 who would have been friends with you anyway.
Okay.
Do you find yourself not smiling much?
Morally, hiding like my teeth, hiding that. I've definitely, after watching your videos and things like that, and because I've already been on self improvement for probably about a year and a half now, but getting after watching your videos, it kind of was more cutthroat and things like that. So I've really tried to apply like I've read the books like the Charisma Myth. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, of course.
But and I've just tried applying, just looking more approachable, or just having more of a smile, just walking into the room, and not necessarily. I've tried to get more comfortable with kind of like standing and like being in silence more, instead of, I guess, say if I'm talking to someone, always going or just using crutch words to fill in the silence.
You know what kind of smile is the most attractive? The genuine one.
Do I know?
Yeah, I mean, you could answer it, but someone, Green Tea has just answered that. The genuine one. The one where someone is not mindful and not present of the moment, and they smile, and they hold back that smile, and they cover up their mouth, and they purposely smile in the particular way that other people can't, for example, see it. That's the unattractive smile.
So like kind of the smile of where I was giving the example, like where I hide my teeth and I'm not necessarily showing full presence.
Yeah. Presence is attractive. There's a far bigger attractiveness boost from being present and from being open and confident and authentic and even vulnerable with who you exactly are than there is to essentially hide who you are. Because essentially what you have right now is a fear of vulnerability. And we can see like vulnerability is kind of like a weird word because it sounds like a bad thing, right? It sounds like something that guys shouldn't have. But vulnerability, we can say, is actually a good thing. Vulnerability is like confidence of your weaknesses. Now, it's showing vulnerability doesn't mean showing weakness. It just means that you're confident of that weakness. So we should all aim to be vulnerable. Right now, you are not vulnerable. You aren't confident of this weakness. A lack of vulnerability is unattractive, and you're holding back on this.
Okay.
So try and keep this in mind next time you're in a social situation, that your full, unfiltered smile is 100 times more attractive than one that you're holding back on for the sake of not wanting to show something that you consider is unattractive in the first place. Smile. A big, wide smile. And the people around you will be more into you.
Okay.
You feeling nervous?
No, I'm thinking. I'm taking in what you're saying and thinking about it.
Okay. I appreciate you coming onto the stage, man.
Mhm.
Takes a lot of
Alright, man, I
confidence to do
appreciate
that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go, boys. Adonis emoji for Kavon. Am I saying your name right, bro? Kavon. There you go. Takes some confidence to do that, doesn't it, boys? I'm gonna post a little story to my Instagram. What should we get you to spam, so I can like confuse all these spurgs who are on Instagram? Spam the Adonis emoji for me, boys. Let's go. Keep going, boys. Today's lecture. It's not a bad turnout though. Nice one, boys. How are we feeling about social media? I started using this shit a little bit more. Got some dates booked. Low-key addictive. I feel like there's a right way to use social media, man. And I was actually going to do a course on this because in self-improvement, you boys, you hate social media, right? You hate like all this shit. I was going to do like a long video, you know, like the complete guide how to fix your life, where I did like a 1.5 hour video. I was going to do like that. Title it Social Media Mastery. Go into detail of how you can use the most popular social media platforms to your own benefit whilst minimizing the negative effects that it has on you. So how you can use YouTube for money / side income, how you can use Instagram for pussy and business and friends, how you can use TikTok to like shake your ass and like show your glute progress or something. Would you guys like to see that? Sweet. I'll start working on that. Social media mastery. Fantastic. My Instagram is, I'll write it down for you boys, it's Hamza97x. Like that. Oh wait. Yes, this is my Instagram, yeah. Sam was quick on that boomer. You had that copy and pasted, bro. You had the nerd level fast type.
I've got it on the copy paste for when you tell us that you haven't been recording this lecture the entire time.
But it says stop recording still, so we're hoping that's going, man. We can get one more person on for a quick one. I've got about 5 minutes before I've got to dip. Who should we have on?
Hamza, get this fuck-nished guy on who's been asking the entire time.
Who?
His pictures, Ziz.
Ziz.
Yeah, I'll invite him to speak.
Yeah, Faknish. Let's go, bro.
Yo, what's
We're all
up,
gonna
man?
make it.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's up?
I'm doing well. So, yeah, I've recognized your picture from the lecture chat I've
Yeah,
seen
man.
that you've asked like a fair amount of times that you wanted to come up here. So tell us about a social situation that you've experienced some kind of anxiety in before.
Yeah, I would like to talk about like partly about girls, because I've I've talked about with my friends, like most of the girls like my age, yeah, they're all going with boys of an older age.
Mm.
And like I've talked to this about I've talked to this about with like other girls too, and they say like uh their male friends of the girls, they say that they're hitting on girls like that are younger. But I don't really want to hit on girls that are like fairly younger than me. But how do I like compare myself to the older guys? Because they are like maybe 1 2 years older than me, and I'm just like I just turned 17 yesterday, and like some of the chicks I know that are 17, they hit on like with guys that are 18, 19.
Mm. How old are you?
I just turned 17 yesterday.
Just turned 17. Okay. What country are you in?
I live in the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
I haven't
What's
haven't seen anyone from the Netherlands here in this Discord, but yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, we got a couple of guys. But what's your what's the age of consent in that country, Netherlands? Is it 18 or 16?
I think 16. I don't really
16.
know, but yeah, I know some people that are
You might want to
16.
check that out, bro.
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah, I'm seeing guys that are telling me happy birthday, so I want
Yeah,
to
happy
say thank
birthday.
you. Yeah, man. Thanks.
Mm. So I'd say right now you feel a little bit anxious in terms of you'd potentially like to be with a girl your age, but it seems like you've noticed the truth is that generally as men we date down in ages. So women like to date a guy who's like 10 to 30% older than they are.
Yeah.
And you feel a little bit like sort of hesitant and anxious in terms of dating a woman who's younger than you.
No, not yeah, like the same age. Like it's like for me when I'm approaching like a girl of my age, I'm
Mm.
thinking like, why should she go for me? Because I'm 17 when she also could get like a guy like 18 or 19. Like
Mm.
their SMV is probably higher anyway.
Mm. So you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I came in the lecture, man. Yeah, I just
You're
want to talk about it.
you're doing your competition's work for you. You're letting them win right now. You're thinking, okay, why would she want to go with me when she can get with guys who are better than me? And that's why those guys are better than you, because they're thinking, yes, she's going with me because I want her.
Yeah, I know.
You're essentially rejecting yourself.
Yeah, I don't like really got that big of an anxiety. Like I've uh, especially when I like drink a bit. I have drank in my life like alcohol and shit.
Mm.
When I do that, it goes like smoother. I don't have any problem. But really approaching like girls that much. But it's just um yeah, I think like these days in society it's just a lot harder um to get like a girl your age. Like I don't feel like getting with a girl that's like 15 or something.
Mm. No, you shouldn't. So it we can say it's somewhat easier to date downwards because
Yeah, I know. It seems easier too.
yeah. But right now you're at the age where it's kind of like uncomfortable to even consider that. Because let's say, okay, I'm 24. So if I potentially considered dating like an 18-year-old, and right now I have the advantage because this 18-year-old is in end of college or in university, and she's surrounded by 18-year-old guys. And 18-year-old guys are dumbasses. They can't compare to me. I've got another 6 years of self-improvement, 6 years of building my body, business, whatever. And so that works for me. But honestly, if I was your age, I personally like you can I'm not going to tell you what to do in terms of like ages and shit. But I personally wouldn't feel comfortable with dating a girl who was like 15 or 16 because that's like, it's
Yeah.
like it's pushing. I can't tell if it's me who feels uncomfortable or if it's me allowing sort of society to kind of say like, oh yeah, you're a pedophile if you do it. I don't know which one it is,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think you feel the same way. It's like you would feel uncomfortable, but also because society would make you feel uncomfortable. So it's just one of those gray areas where you just kind of will not really want to do.
Yeah. And I've had like another question, like where do you what's like a good place to like do like cold approaches or just talk to girls? Because I go to the gym like yeah, many times. I've been training for 2 years now, and I've been like in this gym at my city, which is like a gym where a lot of old people, but not old people, but just people that are a bit older than me. So yeah, it's really a bit hard to approach there. But I've been to other gyms like nearby, and those were like full of young people. And yeah, what do you recommend? What places you recommend to do like the talking? Because the clubs and stuff, I'm a little bit too young, and they're closed. Uh, anyways, in my city.
Yeah. Personally, I don't recommend to go out purposely to cold approach. I don't personally think it's a good use of your time. If you're grinding, if you actually care about your time as like an investment, I have never found it actually having a positive ROI. And so what I suggest instead for all of the boys here, instead of purposely going out to cold approach girls, just be outside a lot of the time because you just live a life where you are outside more and you're not just sat on your computer all the time. And this very, very easy way to do that is to start doing some workouts outdoors. Like getting gym rings is like my advice for the solution to like half of a young man's problems. If you start training outside and you are now outside 5-6 times per week, 5-6 days per week, you'll automatically begin to speak to more people. So I wouldn't purposely say like you need to go to the mall or you need to go to a certain place. You just need to be outside more. And Gabriel there has left a comment that he goes for a run every day first thing in the morning. But that's what I used to do a few months ago.
Yeah.
I'd go for a run, I'd go for a cycle, and you just automatically run past people and walk past people and interact with people like that. And that's how you start talking. Because then, let's say you're going to run past a girl, or you're going to run past a girl who's walking a dog or something. And that's how you're going to start to interact with people. And it's kind of like you're just doing multitasking. Instead of purposely going out to cold approach and actually spending time directly on that, you're purposely going out to do cardio and cold approaching, or just talking to a girl that you walk past, getting your social skills level up. It's just kind of a passive side effect from this, which is awesome.
Yeah, man. I've like the past few days, I've been going on a run in the morning. I've never done that before in my life. I wasn't like my vision, my thoughts about cardio changed because of you. Because my friends,
man.
they're all like, "Oh, cardio's gay," and fuck that shit. But yeah, I've enjoying my runs. I've did it with my brother too. He's like 13 years old, but he's chill. Only thing is, he doesn't like to wake up early, so sometimes I need to go alone. Aside.
Alright, bro, so we're going to cut it there. I'm going to head off now, so I appreciate you coming onto the stage. One last time, boys, Adonis emoji for our friend with the Z's profile picture.
Yeah, man, it was
Let's
nice
go.
speaking to y'all.
You too, brother. It takes a lot of confidence to come up here, man. Respect for that.
Yeah, man, thanks. I'll see you later.
Okay, boys. I appreciate you all listening in today. I hope you got a fair amount of value from this. I am definitely still recording. OBS does say stop recording. So I'm going to scroll down my screen now and you're just going to see all of your pictures so we can bait you out that you've been listening to this. Fuck your confidentiality. I'm looking at the lecture chat now if you all want to send a message to the people who are watching on YouTube. What do you want to say to them? Fuck y'all, Discord gang. Let's go, boys. Join the Discord. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go to the link in the description and join the Discord and you can join our next lecture. I'm pretty sure by the within August we're going to start hitting 500 listeners to these lectures. Train your fucking neck. Let's go, boys. I appreciate you all listening in today. Much love. Take care of yourselves. Give me a kiss, everyone.